Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Friday, June the 3rd, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the one and only Josh Crash Davis. And there was a rumor in Discord, Crash, that you have a top-rated 5-crown lineup for our baseball people today.
Yeah. The rumors are true.
Oh,
So
wow.
definitely have to stay tuned and see what it's going to look like. But yeah, I'm going to build a 5-crown lineup tonight. So
Awesome. And for those that listen that aren't members, we rate our each lineups that we provide, each slate with from a 1 to 5 crowns, 5 being the highest. And we don't get too many 5s up there. So excited to see your lineup. I'll certainly be playing it as well. And for those also that are new, we provide a clipboard for Draftkings. So you'll have highlighted players and then other suggestions of who to fill out that lineup with. We also give out full Fanduel and Yahoo lineups. So all kinds of winners we'll have ready for our members today. And if you want to join us at Coach Talk, just go to dfscoachtalk.com. You can sign up for as little as 3 days. I always tout Fridays is the best day to do that. It's $10 to sign up for that full time. You get full access of everything we've got. And again, we've got tons of baseball today. Then we have golf, our weekend only lineups for a really good tournament at the Memorial. And then, of course, we'll be posting our NBA podcast tomorrow for game 2 for Sunday. And I'm not a Celtics fan, but I did wear my green Coach Talk shirt today because that was a hell of a fourth quarter by the Celtics last night.
That was incredible. Unbelievable for them to, come back like that with the way that game was going. It looked like Golden State was going to put it away, and then they just tore it up for 5-6 minutes straight, 17-0 run. So
yeah, on the road, no less. But I have a feeling it's going to be this kind of series, man. We talked about it the whole time.
Yeah.
Just a barn burner of a series, no doubt.
Yeah, it's going to be a great series. And I was going to mention this is going to be my first 5-crown slate of the year. So
oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Load up
this year. So.
Back up the Brinks truck.
I hope so.
We're ready.
Hope so.
Excellent. And the nice thing about today, 2 things, Crash, it makes me so happy. No weather issues anywhere that I can see of. Looked over everything, maybe a passing shower in Colorado, but not bad. So there's no really threats on the main slate. And that's what we're going over today. It's a 12-game main slate. They all start at it starts at 7:05 throughout the evening, but all 3 sites actually are playing the same 12 games, and they all start at 7:05 for the main. So that's one big plus. The weather's another big plus. So we have equal ground to look at. It gets so difficult. Like last night was one of those wacky nights. All 3 sites had different slates. Weather was popping up in different spots. And tonight it's just free and clear. We can make our picks, get it set, and lock them in. So we're very excited.
Absolutely.
I also want to thank our presenting sponsor, and that's Prizepicks. If you have not gone to Prizepicks yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. They are awesome. Go to prizepicks.com and sign up for the first time using the promo code CoachTalk, all one word, and they will match you dollar for dollar on your all the way up to $100 on your first deposit. So free money is always a good thing. All right. If you're new to the show, first of all, on the way in, if you're watching us on YouTube, quick thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. That's huge to us. If you get the thumbs up and subscribe, that's key. That helps us move up the algorithm on YouTube. Also, hit that little alert in the upper corner. That'll let you know when any of our free podcast posts, which we do all of them in front of the paywall for basketball, baseball, football, golf, you name it. And also this weekend, too, if you're getting the 3-day slate, don't forget now we're adding a little MMA and NASCAR in there. Our man Mike S. is really sharp in both of those sports. So it's going to be an absolutely crazy weekend. This weekend's also the Belmont Stakes, too.
Oh, wow, yeah.
For the horse fans. So I
Yeah.
don't know. There's not going to be enough time or TVs to watch everything, but
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
yeah, we'd love to have you join us though. So, all right, we're going to do as we normally do. We're going to break down the slate for you based on pitchers, pay up value, and fades, and BVP picks. Certainly, the important thing of stacks, and then we'll also talk about our HR call. We'll go through our prize picks top selections, and then we're going to build at the end of the show a two brains are better than one Fanduel GPP from scratch right here live on the podcast. So stay tuned throughout the whole show. All right. I don't know about you, but it normally when I find a pay up pitcher crash, it's like, okay, I found one I like. Well, I had three. I had a scratch off. I went back to the other one, then I put another one. There are so many fantastic pitchers in fantastic spots.
There really is. Yeah, it took me a while to settle on, who was going to be my top pitcher, who was going to be my fade. Just on this slate, so many good options, like you said. For me, my pay up option is going to be Corbin Burns. He's 10-5 on FanDuel, 10-1 on DraftKings. Going up against the Padres, they've been struggling to score as of late. They were able to score 4 runs last night, but 3 of those came against Brent Suter and Peter Strzelecki, who was making Major League Baseball debut. He gave up that 2-run home run to Jorge Alfaro. So that kind of really turned that game around. But Burns faced the Padres last Tuesday. He pitched 6 innings, only allowed 1 run, and struck out 5 for 40 fantasy points. In their last 3 games, San Diego scored the 8th fewest runs per game at only 2.67. So I think that Burns can hold their offense down, and I think that he's going to get, 7 or 8, maybe 9 strikeouts. So I like the matchup for him. I think that Garrett Cole and Shane Bieber are going to get most of the ownership tonight. And on FanDuel, Shane McClanahan is too expensive for me up against a White Sox team that has the 5th lowest strikeout rate. So that's kind of why I landed on Burns. But, I mean, you've got so many good options. So it's kind of difficult slate as far as that goes.
It is, man. And I like so many of these guys. And I think your pick is solid. The 2 guys that just missed the cut for me, and I won't go through all their numbers, but I think Joe Musgrove and Shane McClanahan are both great picks today. I would not be worried about playing either one of those guys the way they've pitched recently and with the matchups. But I'm sticking with, probably the guy after all is said and done that will be the chalk. It won't be as bad a chalk as usual because there's so many good pitchers.
Yeah.
But I'm just sticking with Garrett Cole, man. I mean, it's against Detroit. I swear to you, if you watch, I've watched him pitch recently. I think he's smudging the ball just a little bit. I know they're checking the hands and the hat and everything, but if you look at the back of his pants, he's always wiping his pocket. And I know it's dirt and everything else, but I don't know. I just think I know he was one of the big guys that was doing that, and I don't know if he's doing it again or whatever. But he looks like he's in his prime, doctoring the ball form and he doesn't need much. He's that awesome. But listen, I thought it was amazing. If you listen to his last 9 games, here's his FanDuel points in those 9 games: 49, 42, 40, 47, 50, 46, 57. That's the last 8. I mean, I'll take any of those 8, sir, and I'll be very happy. And on top of that, Detroit strikes out. They strike out a lot against righties. I just think it's just too good of a spot. I'm willing to pay up. He is expensive, but 4-1 with a 3.12 ERA. That's with that 1 bad outing. His whip right at 1, and he's got 72 Ks already. So,
wow,
dude, it's like I'm going to take my 45 or 50 and just move down the road and accept it the way I look at it.
Yeah, I think he will be the highest owned. So it makes a lot of sense. It's a good matchup. So,
and it's not that any of those other guys that we mentioned, can't get there with him, but I just think he's the safest of the pay up. And since I have a value pitcher that's dirt cheap, it makes me feel very comfortable about doing it. Now, if you try to go, two of those guys, Cole Musgrove or your guy and McClanahan, whatever, all those guys are expensive. It's going to be tough getting the bats.
Right.
So my big question to you is, since we're both paying up a pretty penny for our pay up, do you feel comfortable with your value guy, or are you going to be paying up for two expensive pitchers?
I was just thinking about that. I might go with two expensive pitchers on FanDuel for cash and GPP builds, and then pay up in a value on DraftKings, and that's probably what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And it's tempting because you could get 100 points, just boom from your two pitchers. So it's very, very tempting.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of ways you can look at it. So I'll start off with my value pitcher because this is going to make it work for me, because I do want some of these really good bats. And
I have a feeling you're going to take my value pitcher. I just have
really.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think I'm probably out there. Oh, it looks like we have mailman duties, so I'm going to close the door here. Hold on. I knew I was flirting with mailman time, but it happens at times.
Is he below?
I don't know. I don't think you're going to, but I know you're not going to. Who am I kidding? You're not taking my value guy.
Is he below 7K on DraftKings?
His name is JT Brubaker.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
How's that for a shocker?
Yeah, I actually thought about him, but
you did?
Yeah.
Well, that makes me feel better. Yeah. Now, people are going to look at him and say 0-4 with a 4.15 ERA. Yikes. But let me tell you a couple things about JT Brubaker here. He's at home. It's against Arizona. And Arizona, oh man, I'm sorry about these dogs. They're having an absolute stroke. If they ever get a hold of that mailman, he's in deep trouble. But, a couple of things I like about Brubaker. First of all, he doesn't deserve to be 0-4. If you've seen some of his games, he's really gotten screwed out of some games.
Yeah.
His whip is respectable, 1.3. That ERA, again, he leaves guys on and the relievers don't get it done. So it's up just a little over 4. But he does have 50 Ks already. And, that's the thing I like about him. It's against Arizona. Arizona can strike out a lot. And, for a second guy, even though he's given up a few runs here and there, his last scores are 24, 36, 35. He had 18 against Cincinnati, where, again, he left a few guys on and they knocked him in. Then he had 36 and 27 before that. So, Oh, wow, now we have double. Mailman and grass people are here. So this is going to be a real show.
Morning at the coach's house. Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. And, I like the matchup. Arizona will strike out with the best of them.
Yeah.
And he's cheap. He fits and he makes, lets me get to Cole and still get the bats. So I know it's a little on a slate like this with a million great pitchers. It's a little risky, but I feel safe that he can get me, 25 to 27 minimum fantasy points. And I'm thrilled with that.
Yeah. I actually have the opposite pitcher in this game. I've got Neil Kelly. He's 8,500 on FanDuel, but he's 6,800 on DraftKings. He had gotten off to a really strong start this year before he kind of struggled in 2 of his last 3 starts against the Dodgers. Very understandable. And then he had a game at very windy day at Wrigley Field in between there. So I like him in the pitcher-friendly ballpark going up against the Pirates. They had that sweep in LA against the Dodgers, so I kind of feel like they're due for a letdown here.
True.
They have the 3rd highest strikeout rate, Pittsburgh does, and they've scored the 3rd fewest runs per game. So I like the matchup here for Kelly. I think he'll go very low owned, and I like the price at 68 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I'm hoping the opposite. I'm hoping the Pirates are all geared up and fired up that they swept the Dodgers. That's an amazing thing, by the way.
You look incredible sweep. Yeah.
You look at those 2 lineups and the money they spend on them and all that stuff. it goes to show you, you know, you got to play between the lines. That's what counts. But
and that guy, Tupacita Marcano or whatever, that guy that was hit home runs left and right.
Yeah,
they had, never played in the league before, and that was just crazy.
It was. Hopefully they can keep it up, but we'll see how that goes. All right, what do you have for your fade pitcher, Crash?
On a slate like this, it's hard to fade these top pitchers, but I think I'm going to go with Joe Musgrove. This is going to be just kind of a gut call. He's 10-9 on Fanduel, 10-6 on DraftKings. I think that, Milwaukee last night, the way that they came back, they had a 4-1 deficit going into the bottom of the ninth. I think they're going to be real confident going into this game. I just feel like there's better pay-up options. In Milwaukee, they've scored the 6th most runs per game at home this year, averaging 5.29 versus 4.13 on the road. So they're a much better team against righties than lefties. So I like the matchup for Milwaukee. They might be getting Willy Adames back, who's also really good against righties. So I just think that this is a good matchup, for the Brewers to at least do some damage against him. I mean, he's still going to get, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts and probably only allow a couple runs. But compared to the other top pay-up options, I think, those are better options.
Yeah, that's a gutsy one. I mean, he's tough, so we'll see how that rolls out. But
yeah.
I don't blame you. I have a guy that I usually play. I'm using as my fade, and it's strictly for one reason only, and it's Max Fried. I love Max Fried. I play him consistently. He's pitched 6. This is what's amazing. You talk about a consistent guy. Here's his last 8. These are how many innings he pitched in the score. And you're going to say, well, Coach, why are you fading him? Well, I'll explain. His innings, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7, 6, 6, 7. Isn't that not even a third?
It's very.
He pitches a full 6 or a full 7,
right.
Count it. And his scores are between 31, his worst, and 55, his best. No teens or anything like that. But here's the difference. It's in Colorado.
Yeah.
And for, during the certain times and weathers and barometric pressures and everything else, you get these stretches where Coors Field is Coors Field. And the ball flies. And I swear last night there were a couple balls hit when I was watching. It looked like routine flyouts.
Yeah.
And the ball just got, I don't know if it drank a Red Bull and got its wings or whatever, but it just kept floating and going and going. And it off the wall or whatever. And I was like, man, I am staying free and clear from any pitching there. So as much as I like Fried, I know a lot of people will do the same probably as I'm going to do and fade him because, number one, there's so many good pitchers, and 2, it's in Coors. But when you look at his numbers that I just read, I mean, pencil it in 6 or 7 innings, probably 35 fantasy points. But if there's a game where he could, get a 15 or 18 only fantasy points and he's not super cheap, I'm going to think the Colorado factor is going to get him.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely like that.
All right. How about BVP?
Well, I looked at a couple different plays. There was a couple that were on a different slate. So I was trying to stick to the main slate.
Yeah.
Carlos Correa is on the COVID list. He would have been one of my top options against Kikuchi. But I went with Nate Lowe. He's 2,800 on FanDuel, 3,100 on DraftKings. He has 6 hits and 12 at-bats against Logan Gilbert. He'll probably be very, very low owned. So if we could get a home run from him, that would really help.
Yeah, and I have guys too. My top 2 or 3 are in those early 3 games, and it's like, doggone it, man. That's not fun. I don't care for that. But I'm gonna go with the guy that every time I play him, he takes a 0. So I'm really gonna get mad at you if he doesn't come through for me. It's Christian stinking Yelich.
Okay. All right.
I mean, he's had good success against Musgrove, considering most people don't. Batting almost 300. He's seen him 18 times, 3 extra base hits. He's hit a home run. So, as good as you can do against Musgrove, who's usually generally pretty solid. But I just think that this is a spot for him. I think he's due, and maybe a little bit of pop once in a while. Joe will give up a solo shot here and there, and I'm hoping your buddy Yelich. I'm going to be bad mouthing him in Discord if he doesn't get a hit. So maybe that pressure will get him to step up.
That's interesting because I almost used him for my home run call today.
So, oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, that'll work for me. I'll take it.
I kind of have that gut feeling, so we'll see what happens there.
Well, we'll skip to that, and then we'll go to stacks after. Who is your home run call?
My home run call is going to be Matt Olson. He's 281 against right-handed pitchers this year, 4 for 6 against, have come against right-handed pitchers in Coors. I just really like that matchup for him. He's never faced Chad Kuhl before, but I think that it's very favorable, conditions.
Yeah, I'm going with the guy that I just think is about ready to go on one of those 7 home run game, runs in like 2 weeks, just one of those every other game, popping a homer, putting a double dong in there at some point, knocking it out. And that's Vladdy Guerrero Jr. I just think he's about to bust out. I like him in this spot against Minnesota. It's in Toronto, home game, comfortable, not a lot of BVP to go off of or anything, but Teoscar's hitting a little bit better behind him. He was off to a horrific start, and he's starting to pop the ball. And then that little short, stout catcher, Mr. Kirk's been whacking it too. So he's got some, depth behind him. And then, of course, with Springer and Bichette ahead of him, he's just in such a great spot. Yeah. And I like him going deep, and I'm going to be on him for the next week or so. I think he's about to bust out.
Okay. I like that call. Yep. Yeah, they're going into the stacks like we talked about. The Toronto Blue Jays are my GPP stack. I think they'll probably be pretty low owned. Going up against the Chichi Gonzalez is the projected starter. So I like that matchup for them. Obviously, the chalkier stacks will be the Braves against Chad Kuhl and Coors, and the Yankees against Elvin Rodriguez in the Bronx. I also like the Tampa Bay Rays against Vince Velasquez. I think that's a good matchup too.
I like it. You basically covered all my teams. I'm not going to get cute. I'm going with what's right. I think the Yankees are the top stack. I can somebody in that is going to be yelling Elvin. Get that? That's a Chipmunks joke there. There you go. But anyway, I think the Yankees are going to beat him up, and so I love the Yankees as the chalk stack. And like I say, going cheaper with a guy like Brubaker or whomever your SP2 is allows you to get to a few of those bats, not a full stack, but you can get to a few of them. And I also Toronto. I just mentioned, now you got
now I've got the dog bark.
It's everybody's barking. Springer, Bichette, Guerrero, Teoscar. Now that he's hitting, my Mr. Kirk, Gurriel, Chapman, Jansen hit one the other day. Espinal hit one the other day. So they don't have any gaps in that lineup. I mean, you got to pitch to all 9 of them, and I just think that's a tough chore for Chichi in that bullpen. So I think Toronto's really my favorite stack, not even GPP-ish. I really am going to have exposure. I have one question for you, though. How much of a stack do you have to just suck up and go with it in this Atlanta-Colorado game? Because, like I say, the trend the last 2 or 3 days in Colorado is we're into these over-unders being set at huge numbers, and they're going over. So are you going to have exposure in Atlanta, Colorado deal?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have exposure in my cash lineups. Probably 3, Braves is probably what I'm looking at.
Okay.
And just throw in some value to make it work. But I think you're going to have to, you get a guy like a Travis d'Arnaud type play that we had last night. Guy hits double dong, and I don't remember how many RBIs he had, but he was the top scorer on the slate of any position. So
Yep. And and then that's the thing with Colorado too. You can get a guy batting 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever, and they still can go bonkers there.
Right.
I mean, Atlanta has Adam Duvall batting 9th. And you talk about a guy that can pop it out of the stadium,
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea. So I've got to get some exposure. not full stacks. You can't really afford the Atlanta full stacks, but
Right.
yeah, I'm going to try to one-off as much as I can, and I'm not afraid to take a Colorado guy or two either. CJ Cron's been in his zone lately too.
Yeah, I was just looking at the weather. Looks like they're going to get a storm right before the game's supposed to start, so the humidity is going to jump from about 55 to about 70%. So
Okay. Well, we'll
that'll
keep an eye
increase
on
the
that.
wind too, probably.
Yeah. I mean, right now it says that it's supposed to be game time, supposed to be 76 degrees and a 10-mile-an-hour wind blowing out.
Mm.
So the
Hmm.
over-under set at 11. And
Yeah.
so when there's nobody else even within shouting distance of that. I think 8.5 might be okay, I'm sorry. The Minnesota Toronto game that we're going to stack is 9.5. And then
Hmm.
we have that 11. But other than that, there's nobody really close on the main slate
Yeah.
with the 12
Well,
games.
Atlanta scored 13 by themselves last night. So
Yeah, look at the 2 games before that too. I
yeah.
mean, everybody gets fat in Colorado. That's why you have those guys. That's the guys that played a lot of their career in Colorado. Their stats are just so empty to me. It's like
Hmm.
you would not have had anywhere near those stats in most places, but
Right.
it is what it is. All right, sir, it is time for our prize pick selections. Before we do that, real quickly, again, I want to thank our presenting sponsor, Prize Picks, since we're making those selections. Now go to prizepicks.com, use the promo code Coach Talk, and if it's your first deposit, they will match you dollar for dollar all the way up to $100. Also, if you want to join us at Coach Talk, go to dfscoachtalk.com. You can sign up right there, even for as little as a 3-day pass for $10. If you want to check us out on Twitter, we're at DFS Coach Talk. Crash is at JP Davis 1982, and I am at Joe Sarvati. Please hit that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. That means a lot to us. And definitely give us a comment, hit the subscribe button, and click that alert. All right,
Hmm.
sir, Prize Picks. What is your first selection on Prize Picks?
It's going to be Corbin Burns over 40.5 fantasy score. He's averaged 45.5 fantasy points per game in his 4 starts at home this year. I have him projected for about 46 to 48, so I like the over at 40.5.
Very nice. I am going to go with, it's bizarre. You got all these superstar pitchers, and my first Prize Picks play is over 4.5 strikeouts for the 0-4 JT Brubaker. How about that?
Yeah, I like it.
I don't think 4.5's a lot. Arizona strikes out a bunch.
Yeah.
His fastball's been going. I really like that number. I think he gets 6 strikeouts today.
I like that. My second play, probably my top play overall, is Matt Olson over 1.5 total bases. He's my home run call. Even if he doesn't get a home run, as we talked about, the Coors outfield, they're notorious for giving up extra base hits. So I like the over here at 1.5 total bases. I think that's really low.
It is for sure. Even though I like this guy, play him all the time, I read positive statistics. I just can't get past the Colorado thing. I'm going Max Fried under 31.5. So, I mean, it's a pretty stout score for pitchers in Coors.
Yeah.
So I don't feel great about it because I like Fried. I think he's a solid pitcher, but 31.5's a lot when you're going to get
It's a
some of
lot
those
worse.
gappers. Yeah.
Definitely. Yep. My last play is going to be Shane McClanahan under 7.5 strikeouts. He's gone under that number in half of his 10 starts. The White Sox have the 5th lowest strikeout rate. I think he's probably going to get like 6 strikeouts is what I have him projected for.
Okay.
So I like the under here at 7.5 because he needs 8 to get to that number. So,
Yeah, that's a pretty healthy number. I will say he's pitching a little deeper though, so it's going to be a tight one. I bet you that comes down to a close number.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a sweat for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. My favorite Prize Picks play, he's my favorite offensive play today all the way around, is Vladdy. I just think it's only 8 rather than 8.5, which, if he doesn't do that well, you can get it push at 8. That's acceptable. But I think he's a double digits fantasy score tonight. So Over Vlad, 8 fantasy score is my final prize pick selection.
Okay. You want to kick off our Two Brains Fanduel?
Two Brains Fanduel. I'm going to take Vladimir Guerrero, senior and junior. I'm going to take junior as a hitter and senior as my coach.
Nice. So you're going to put him at the catcher first base position, I'm assuming?
Correct.
Okay.
I know he's a little pricey, but
I guess I got to go to the utility to get. I want to get Olsen in.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to do that, no doubt.
Let's see.
You know, I'm going to play this in the $55 $2 million World Fantasy Baseball Championship qualifier.
Wow.
The winner gets a ticket, trip, and cash. So I'm expecting this to take it down, Crash.
Sounds good to me, Coach.
No finishing second with this lineup, just so you know.
It's got to finish first or it's worthless.
Well, not completely worthless. You get some money.
It's going to be worth a good amount of money if it does.
Exactly. You know, 3,600 for Vlad is not that bad.
No, he's usually over 4, so that's a decent price.
Yeah. You taking Olsen?
Yeah, I took Olsen for utility. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. I'm gonna go. Let's see. Can I go a little cheaper somewhere? You'd absolutely drop your pants and fall over if I took Brubaker as our pitcher, wouldn't you?
I had the thought that you might, just because it's supposed to be a GPP lineup, but I mean,
that's the kind of thing that happens, dude.
That's risky. Yeah.
If we take him at 7-8, we can get so many hitters, but
yeah,
I don't know if we can afford to leave that many on the board.
With this kind of slate, though, I mean, you've got 5, maybe 6 pitchers that are worth paying up for.
Flanagan, Musgrove, Cole, Burns, maybe Bieber.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Anderson's been pretty good.
Anderson's been great.
Yeah.
He's been fantastic. We didn't even mention him. I mean, but it's the Mets are pretty stingy. They're tough.
Mm-hmm. You know, I looked that up. They haven't hit him very well, though. So that was kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's a great pick today, too. And on some, he'd be chalk favorite, and he's probably not going to get a ton of ownership just because there's so many great hitters.
Yeah. Are you with him? It almost sounds like we should, the way we're talking here.
I know it. You know what? I'm going to take my shortstop.
Okay.
I want Bobby Witt Jr. Since I'm going with I'm going to take all juniors today. I have Bobby Witt first. I want you to know I have Vlad Guerrero Sr.'s baseball card with the Expos, and I have Bobby Witt Sr.'s catching card with the or pitching card with the Rangers. So,
oh wow,
I'm going second gen today.
Yeah,
that wasn't by design, by the way, either.
I'm going with some value. He's been red hot. He hit the triple last night that tied the game, and that's Jace Peterson. He's 2,300 at third base.
Nice. It's nice to save the money. Yeah, he's been. I'm surprised they didn't raise his price. I expected him to go up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I accidentally put Bobby Witt in and third base, so I got to make that change. All right. Since we're avoiding that, I'll continue to avoid it. We got to start getting some Colorado Atlanta exposure. We got to get some. There's just so much to like today.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go with my man. When I've had big monster takedowns, he's been the constant in all those lineups, and it's Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah.
He's a little more expensive than I'd like.
Yeah.
But he's been in all my takedowns. So now we're in a little bit of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost going to have to go with Brubaker? Or is that completely insane?
We'll see here. This is a GPP, remember, so we can get a little weird. I'm going to take your guy that gave us a good showing the other day with Espinal.
Okay. How cheap is he?
25. Second base.
All right, dude, I'm just going to do it. And we can take 2 massive pitchers. Oh, I don't know if I have the guts to do it. This is so difficult to decide. I mean, I look at it this way. If I went with Garrett Cole, that means we have to take 2 chump hitters.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else is going to help us. McClanahan, Musgrove, Burns. We're still going to have to go with chumps. So this is a GPP only. We're trying to get different. We're trying to win this takedown. So I'm just going to take Brubaker.
Okay.
That gives us 2 big, huge outfield bats we can take.
Yeah.
So take whoever you want, whoever you think's going deep.
Okay.
I think you're going to take Acuna.
I'm actually not.
No. Judge?
Nope. Charlie Blackmon.
Charlie Blackmon. Okay. That leaves me $4,000.
He's really a lot better than you would think against lefties. So I like him against lefties.
Okay. So what I would like to do here, I would like to take Aaron Judge. So I'm going to take him and pull back my Bobby.
He's actually only hitting 191 against lefties this year. He's normally better against lefties and righties. That's unusual.
I know, but I think that's going to just some of it is short sample size. It'll even out. And I think it starts evening out tonight.
Okay.
Is what I'm thinking. Well, I don't see a good replacement for Witt that I prefer. So let me see here. I gotta think about this. I might pull Ozuna, which could be suicide. But if I pull Ozuna, because I really do I think Judge goes deep tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That would take me to 3,400.
Coach, we can't have a lineup with me involved with Aaron Judge.
Oh,
he's going to go 6.
You are the Aaron Judge killer.
I mean, last night, he goes yard again. Of course, I don't play him. So just what he does.
I know. So if we play him, he's not going to do it. Oh, man. You know what? All right. I'm going to shake up the whole street here. There's so much. You're going to get beat up so bad if Christian Yelich doesn't have a game. I'm playing him for $3,500 against Joe Musgrove. So that is a very unique build right there.
Mm-hmm.
So
are you going
really nervous? That gets me to Ronald Acuna Jr.
Oh, so you can't go to Judge. You got to go to Junior. Okay.
Right.
Another Junior.
Here's where we finish up. No money left, but we got our different spots. The only thing we didn't get is any Yankees, but I do believe you're the Judge jinx. So not too many people are going to have JT Brubaker with 8 aces, but then listen to this hitting: Guerrero Jr., Espinal, Jace Peterson, Bobby Witt Jr., Yelich, Blackmon, Acuna Jr., and Olsen. So we got a couple of 3 cores bats in there. Got a little bit of our Toronto guys, a couple of those guys. There you go, man. That's as GPP as you can get.
Yeah. We got 3 juniors in there.
So crazy. So that's what we've got for you, folks. That you can't say we're chalk players here at Coach Talk. So
definitely not.
Anybody else that plays that, if you play it, maybe we split. What happens if you split for that first place for the trip? I wonder how that works. Must be.
I don't know.
That'll be interesting to see. But we'll go from there. I'll be happy to split it with anybody out there. Let's take it down.
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts, my friend?
No, I think we covered this slate well. Like we mentioned at the start, I'm glad that all 3 sites have the same start time, the same amount of games. It's always nice when that happens. We don't have to move everything around, our schedules around to accommodate each site. So should be a fun night. So looking forward to watching these games, and hopefully we've got some major winners.
Absolutely. And for our members, keep an eye out for our ownership projections. Those will drop this afternoon in Discord. And then we'll have Mike's GPPs, Crash's and I's picks as well in baseball for that main slate. And then we also have our golf plays coming out this evening as well for the weekend only for the Memorial. So it's going to be a busy night at Coach Talk, and we have been on fire. Last night wasn't as awesome as it could be, but we have been, and we want to keep that momentum going. Also, tomorrow is going to be a fun day. You're going to get the NBA podcast up for the Sunday game 2, Boston versus Golden State. Baseball pod will be up. Crash is handling that in the morning. And then we'll have plays all day tomorrow. So look forward to everybody joining us. So, all right, Crash, appreciate you. Great work. It's Friday. Let's have a great weekend. Let's start it off with some winners. And again, on the way out, hit that thumbs up. Give us a subscribe button. Shoot a little comment in there if you had any winners. We love celebrating those victories and shouting people out. So. Great stuff, Crash. Enjoy your Friday, and we'll certainly be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB DFS and Prize Picks.